and salutation. How many of you saw the clip yesterday? Get out of here. I have a question. Okay, how many have seen... I am going to show a clip from Army of Darkness. You can't say the E word. You can't, it's not Evil Dead 3 because the studios don't want it to be Evil Dead 3 because it costs too much money and they don't want it to be a sequel because sequels don't make that much money. So it costs more than the other ones, so you have to say Army of Darkness. You don't have to say anything, but just that's what the film is called. And that's the reason why. How many of you geniuses have seen the any of the Evil Dead movies? I pity you all. Anyway, let me ask you, let me take a quick poll before we show the new footage, since we're just now finishing the movie. How would you describe the lead character? Just in a word, just give me some suggestions, because I can give you an idea of how the character has naive, that's a good one. Well, what is that?
Stupid.
Mo? Oh, he's Mo from the streets. Oh, well. Inept, that's a good one. Well, helpless, stupid, moronic. Well, nothing has changed in that respect. That's the good news. What do you know about his predicament at the end of part 2? The end of part 2, he winds up
screwed.
He's screwed at the end of part 2. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. It didn't happen to a bigger idiot. And so what this is basically what you're going to see is it pretty much picks up where it left off. Our hapless hero is stuck in 1300, where now he thinks everybody else is even dumber than he is because he's a modern man who knows everything. Well, I'll set the scene again for those of you who haven't seen it. He lands in 1300 like anybody would want. They got to go back to your own time. But there's a catch. You got to go on a journey and get the Book of the Dead that has been the reoccurring MacGuffin sort of in all these movies. You got to get the book in order to get home, but all right, so you're the only one to do it. Supposedly he's the chosen one according to these primitives. So he has to go on a journey, and somewhere between the first night and the third night, Ash learns how to ride a horse and sword fight and a bunch of that sort of stuff. So you'll just sort of have to bear with it. Ash in this particular movie is pretty much the ugly American. He's like a tourist in Europe, and they don't want him there, but he's kind of the chosen one, so they think that he's the guy to do it. Even though we all know that there's nobody less suitable for the job than him, as you'll soon find out. I'm not going to try and tell you the whole story, but basically, he's told very specifically, when you go on this journey and when you get the book, you got to say Klaatu Verada Nikto in order to get the book. So it's important that you know that tasty tidbit before we roll the clips, and then you'll see what exhibition of how not to, actually how to cause the ultimate deaths of hundreds of people. So what I'll do is without further ado, and we're going to kill all the lights and all that good stuff, right? And then we'll talk about how dumb Ash is afterwards. so busy filling me full of his secret little words and his phrases and his bullshit that he never said anything about this. Like what am I supposed to do? Take one book or all books or what? Well.
You'll get the right one this time.
Seems fairly obvious. Ooh, wait a minute. The words. Right. Say the words. Clacho, Barata. Necktie. Nectar. Nickel. It's that word. It's definitely that word. It's definitely that word. Klasu. Marada. Hey then. That's it. get the idea. He's the character who's cosmically screwed because he's so stupid. And that's the woman that he befriends in the movie, Sheila. And he's pretty cruel to her too. So it's a bad situation all around. As you can imagine, ultimately that results in the releasing of a veritable army of the dead. And there's quite a battle royale at the end of the movie where Ash and his knowledge of the 20th century helps to fend them off from a horde of the dead. So I can't tell you the rest. You have to pay your $7.50 or whatever. I don't know when it's coming out. Sometime maybe this summer. So any questions? Any pontifications? Yeah.
Could you tell us about Evil Ash?
About Evil Ash? Well, again, because he kind of screws up. He winds up battling kind of a bad version of himself in the movie. And so that's who's leading the charge against the castle. So the good news is, though, that Evil Ash is just as stupid as regular Ash. And it's funny, when they split apart, Evil Ash gets to watch. I get this gun. It was sort of arbitrary, but it kind of works, I guess. So that's Evil Ash, yeah. Army of Darkness is supposed to be more of a serious film? Well, it is, isn't it? Well, yeah. I don't know, you're the judge. You're the ones who cough the raw cash. I just suffer for months making these things. Yeah, well, it's pretty subtle, as you can see. So, yeah, I don't know, it's a weird bird, there's no doubt about it. That actually, in the course of things, is kind of a mild clip relating to the weirdness of this movie. Because you'll watch one reel and you go, oh, that's kind of, what is this? So I don't know, we kind of lost distance because we've just been doing all the sound work on it and everything, so. Yeah.
Were you allowed to do a lot of your own stunts?
What's that?
Your own stunts?
Yeah, I'm allowed to do it to a certain extent. I'm forced to some extent because of the way Sam shoots things. Because it's right here with a camera, you know, who are you going to get? So basically the stuntman who would do like high falls and things that could like do serious damage. The minor injuries, that's no big deal. Because then I can still show up on the set the next day. Although we did a little bit of a trick because there were two makeup effects groups, K and B, doing all the kind of non-Ash stuff, and Ulterior Studios, which is Tony Gardner and his gang, they were doing all the Ash stuff. We had a bunch of those makeup guys everywhere. So we asked Tony and his guys to make up a bunch of noses and chins. So all the stuntmen, it was, since I can torment them a little bit, I can say, fine, you can do my stunts, but you have to wear the nose and the chin. Because stuntmen, that's the biggest thing a lot of times, is you get an actor, he's about to do a fight scene, then you cut to a guy who's doing this and you can't see anything. It frees you up. If the guy looks more like the lead character, then you can shoot him closer and tighter and stuff. But yeah, I suffered through most of it, yeah.
I got one question and a request. The question is, will you do the fourth Evil Dead film if they make it, and will you give us a flip?
Give you a flip, and that was the request, right? That's not the question. I'll see if I can still do it. Evil Dead 4 is determined by you kind people. It really is. Because if you lay out, you know, your hard-earned cash and go see it 5 times and buy the video, then no problem. And actually, I don't know. Yeah, if everybody's involved, then fine. All right, so I'll do a flip, but if I break myself, then I'll have to leave, so. I haven't done it in a while. I have beepers and things like that to break now, but I'll do it anyway. And when things fall out of my pocket, I have change. Here, let me get rid of the change. Well, it'll fall out anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. All right. It's very simple, actually. But kids, I don't recommend that you do this at home.
Oh, if this is a comfort, I know first aid.
I beg your pardon?
If this gives you comfort, I know first aid.
Bless you. See, this stage, you got to understand, with big-time wrestling, it's all a big stage that gives about 2 feet. So those big idiots come jumping on down there, and it makes a big noise, but that's about it. Now this, you're asking me to risk my personal self, because these are reinforced here, you see. a little bit here, a little bit there. So the trick is to land exactly right. And if I land wrong, that could be dangerous to all of us. Me in particular. The trick is, like any big time wrestling, you don't just land on your back.
You got 10 seconds, Bruce.
I'm trying to delay this as long as I can. Bless you, a little hard. My grandfather actually thought that big time wrestling was real. You don't believe it, do you? Yeah. But if I hurt myself, that is real. So if well, okay, the theory is now to let your feet do most of the stopping. I haven't done this in a long time. It hurts every time. You do it, and then you go, ha ha, that was fine. Go, yay, hooray, and you go, okay. Why did I do that? I'm too old for this. Remember the first Evil Dead was 19... All right.
That must have hurt.
But that's it. You get the basic idea. So, do we have any more inquiries before I limp off? Yeah. What? Little bitty ashes? How do you know about the little ashes? What? Why, they showing? Oh, there's other clips out there? Really? Why? What about them? From Sam Raimi's vivid imagination. I don't know. I can't even describe it. It's too ridiculous. They, have you ever seen the Little Rascals episode where Mr. Hood is trying to sleep on the couch, and all these little guys are going, ooh, and they're stabbing him? He's having a nightmare. Well, this is basically a 10-minute version of the Mr. Hood scene in Little Rascals. These little guys poke him in the butt with forks, and it's pretty horrible. That's all I can say. Yeah.
How did you and Sam Raimi meet? Did you guys come up with that idea?
How did Sam and I meet? We met watching each other do poor pantomimes in high school. He was doing a bad one and mine was worse, so we consoled each other. And it was his phony idea. It was actually called Book of the Dead, and it's based on, he came up with the idea somewhere in college. And then the guy who was going to distribute the first Evil Dead said, you can't use the word book in the title, because people think you have to read for 90 minutes. So change it to The Evil Dead Men and the Evil Dead Women. But no, that stinks. No, that's a good title. Come up with a bunch of titles and we'll pick a title. 101% Dead was a title. Blood Flood was another title. So we wound up choosing Evil Dead, which was pretty silly, but...
You guys been friends in school then?
Friends, no. Yeah, I guess we've known each other for 400 years. And he'll pay. Hey, let me tell you a story now that Sam's not here to stop me. Yesterday, he stopped me. He's very clever. Do you want to know how Sam directs? Yeah. What's the secret of Sam Raimi? What lurks in that pea brain of his? I'll tell you, 'cause he can't. I hope you're videotaping this, because here we go, Sam. Sam would wait until I'm tied in to like a difficult rig on a stage. We spent a lot of time doing special effects where you can't really look this way, and you can't look that way, and you can't move an inch that way, because then you're across some phony mat line, and your shoulder turns to mush. And so they would, there was one particular shot where they had to strap me in to my chest and here, and I couldn't move. I could just turn my head. So Sam would wait until we're all strapped in, and then I'm asking myself, why aren't we shooting now? What is going on? And from behind me, he's behind the set, and he's smashing my ankle with a 2x4, going, you better get it right. But he only waits till then, because I'll beat the crap out of him. So he does that. So then we're doing some other reshoots. And then he gets this long stick. So he takes his stick now, because he couldn't find a 2x4, I guess. So he'll wait till like nobody's looking, and he'll crack me in the ankle just before we shoot. Because that's good, that'll make you good. So I went to the prop man, and I got a little saw. And I cut that thing into a million pieces, that little stick, and I stuck it under my cape. And I let them fall, the pieces fall at the appropriate moment on the set, so that little bugger. That's how Sam directs, none of this, now, what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling? He hits me with a stick. He's a method director. He's gonna pay. Oh, Sam, I don't feel very good today. I don't think I want to show up today. Oh, good, I'll get a stuntman, he'll be better. I got all the noses and chins. Oh, that's the Sam Raimi story. Any other questions? Yeah. Have I ever been in a movie where I haven't been thoroughly abused? Yeah, it was called like Going Back, which is kind of synonymous with going nowhere. But it was, yeah, a couple. But usually when this whole thing started, they went, oh good, he doesn't mind. Let's use him. Sure, cover him with mud or blood. Sure, yeah, he won't mind. He never complains. Yeah, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. So I don't know. Yeah, this movie's pretty ridiculous for that too. Yeah.
It looks like Ashton chainsaw replaced with a robotic hand. Where did you pick that up?
He makes it. He knows how. He works with the local blacksmith of all the dumb things and takes a piece of armor and makes it back into his hand. See, what got cut out was that Ash works at S-Mart. He works in the housewares department. And he was actually studying to get his mechanical engineering degree. Ah, boy. And I guess he was going to get it because in his trunk are all the books. So he's got his chemistry book and his steam engine plant books, and basically anything he needs is in his trunk. So it's kind of like, what do we need? Okay, get it out of his trunk. So that's the basic story there. Yeah.
What was it like filming that scene when your hand was killing yourself? Throwing plates at yourself?
What was it like filming the scene where my hand was killing myself?
Yeah.
Pretty silly. You just sort of shoot that stuff, you know. You just sort of turn the camera on and go. There's a weird thing that happens as funny actors. When the camera turns on, you just sort of, you know, you stop worrying about things. It's afterward where you go, did I look okay? It's weird. When the camera's on, you tend to not get hurt that much until they say cut. Yeah.
Got any more Sam Raimi blackmail stories?
Oh, no. Because he'll tell more horrible stories than me, so. What's that? Yeah. Any other pontifications, and then we'll... Hello.
It seemed like in the first one, he went to this cabin, and then in the second one, he came right back to the same cabin.
Oh, there you go, asking that same question again. Why did he go back the second night? Because he's stupid. I have no idea. No, here's the deal. At the end of part one, he dies, right?
I don't know, it blacked out.
That's what it seemed like, right? When you saw it, you went, how good that idiot is dead. Well, but it made money, so I get to live again. So then we thought that not that many people saw the first Evil Dead. You know, it was a phony cult movie, right? I mean, you guys and a couple of your relatives saw the movie. We thought, I don't know. It did real well in Europe and places like that. I thought, well, okay, let's get a hold of those actors. Oh, he's a truck driver in Lansing, Michigan. Oh, okay. She has 3 kids now. Oh, good. She's a radio personality. That's interesting. So we couldn't get any of those other people because they were all just sort of people that we said, yeah, come on, let's do a movie in Tennessee. So we said, let's recap. He just went up there with one girlfriend. So it was just a storytelling kind of oddity, where we lied. And the good news is that we're consistent because we lie horribly at the beginning of this one. So you basically have to assume that the other movies weren't made, especially since it's called Army of Darkness. So you get a little bit of Ash's backstory, but he's a loser nonetheless. Yeah. You have to pay lots of cash before you can see part 4. I can't. It's hard for me to pontificate. I don't know. You better go see it, because well, if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Anything else? Yeah.
What do you think about the character you played as Cleveland Smith?
What do I think about the character I played as Cleveland Smith, bounty hunter? You're asking a trivia question now. Everyone else is going, what's that? It's not that much different than Ash, really. I mean, the only difference is that Ash is trying to be a hero, this Cleveland Smith character. I don't know, it's weird. That's more of an actual direct parody type part of a bounty hunt. Yeah.
If asked, would you return for Reanimator 3?
Reanimator 3, if I was asked? Gee, that's a fascinating question. I guess I'd have to see the first two. Yeah, I'll check my answering machine when I get home. All right, well, anyway, without further ado, I actually am going to go to the dealer's room. So those of you who want to get any mementos, that's where I'm going to be. I'll be happy to sign your back or your neck or your foot or whatever you want to do. But thanks a lot. Make sure you go see the movie. I'm your doctor.